Hello, readers. Welcome back to the Litdulterous 4. I'm your host, Stacey. Now, I found an amazing book, and it's written by an even more amazing author. Welcome, Sophie Rosenbaum. How are you?
Good, thank you. Sophie Bernbaum.
Bam, bam. I knew I was going to make a mistake. I had it in my head, and I'm like, I'm going to say this right, and then I didn't. You see what I mean?
I do.
Nightmare. I'm a nightmare.
One time in college, I was doing, I used to do stand-up comedy, and I was doing it on like it was like a late night type show that my college did.
Yeah.
And I had been talking to the host all week online. So it wasn't like even like I was saying my name. It was written right in front of him. And then he called me Stephanie. And I was like, this is not my name.
At least it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
I need some kind of flashcard with how to pronounce it on there. I need a person. I need a producer in my ear. Fantastic. You wrote this amazing book. I really enjoyed it. And it's called Love and Other Tragedies. So
Thank you.
tell all my listeners all about your book, what it's about, how you wrote it. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about a girl it's a YA, a young adult book. It's about a girl in high school who it kind of starts out, she's got a crush on her best friend's twin brother. They've known each other, their whole lives. And I'm a sucker for the best friend's brother or brother's best friend trope. So
I love that. I love
leaned
that.
into that. And so she has a crush on him. He starts to show interest in her.
Mhm.
And she's, super excited about that. She's also really into theater. So it's her senior year and she's really excited. She thinks, it's going to finally her moment to get a lead role, and all this exciting stuff is happening. And then there are hate crimes at her school and she is one of the people who is targeted. So it's kind of the juxtaposition of her falling in love for the first time versus the hatred that's going on kind of in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. It was deep. The stuff that you covered was some heavy, heavy material. So you have this group of friends and they're all really close. Did you have a friend group like that growing up? Is that where you got your inspiration for this group of kids?
So in high school, I was in theater too. And it's definitely like a very close, very tight-knit group of kids in my experience.
Yeah.
And you're together at school, you're together during rehearsals.
Right.
There's, if you're helping out like with the tech, you're together on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So you're really with these people all the time. I wasn't lucky enough to have a best friend like Rose that I had from June that I had from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That I stayed with throughout high school. But I really wanted to have a very strong female friendship kind of at the center of the book. And that's where I kind of was leaning toward with that.
It's funny because my daughter right now, she just turned 20. She's in college right now. She was a tech theater kid. So reading that you had these kids as theater kids was really exciting for me because I'm like, wow, my daughter is she did that all through high school. And she's in school right now because she wants to do script supervision.
Oh, so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's in college for that right now. So obviously you being a theater kid, did you have to do a lot of research on how to make sure that you wrote it in such a way that was more realistic for being a theater kid?
I definitely pulled from my own personal experience more so than did research for that particular aspect. And because I was so involved in theater, and I was involved in theater all 4 years of high school. I was president of the Thespian Society.
Nice.
I was really heavily involved, and because of that, when I read a book or watch a movie that doesn't ring realistic to me, it really bothers me. When it's about theater in particular. Don't get me wrong, I love High School Musical, but that is not how things go. That's not how it works.
Yeah, well, my daughter loved those movies before too, and now she's kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, it was just not real, and I wanted to kind of make that as realistic as I could based on my own experience.
Yeah. No, it was incredible. I obviously don't know how she talks, and I'm sure I miss things, but it sounded real to me. It sounded legit. This is exactly what happens and this is how it is. I was like, wow, you must have done so much research, but being a theater kid, that makes complete sense that you know the ins and outs. So you wrote Rose having ADHD, and that's a really big theme in your book.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also have it?
I sure do.
Yeah, because you must have to be able to write so much in there about it. Because my daughter also has ADHD. Which
okay. I feel like your daughter and I would really get along.
Yeah, I bet you would too. But she has a superpower. Her superpower is that she is detail orientated like you wouldn't believe. So what's your ADHD superpower?
So I would say it's similar
Yeah.
to Rose's. I got diagnosed as like a very young kid, but it was very different back then, and I was never really on meds as a kid for it. So I didn't, and then I got like re-diagnosed as an adult and started taking Adderall, and it was like such a game changer because I didn't have that, I guess, like that medicinal support when I was in
Yeah.
school. I really had to overcompensate.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in college, I had 3 separate calendars. I had my weekly calendar that was like up on the wall that had all my classes and my clubs. Whatever I had at the same time every week was on that.
Yeah.
And then I had my monthly calendar where I would put like any other events that were, happening throughout the month. And then I also had like my long-term planner where I tracked like my assignments and any other, anything like future events that I needed to have written down. And it was a lot. And I don't need to do
Yeah.
that anymore. But it really helped. That overcompensation really helped me get through college.
Oh, I bet. That's crazy. My daughter also, before she was medicated, she really struggled to keep things in line. She had Post-its everywhere. Like, it was insane. You're right. As soon as you're medicated, it really, once you
Oh
find the
my
right one
gosh.
too, it's
Yeah.
game
I mean, it
changer.
really is a game changer. It's, I often wish I could like go back and redo school on Adderall.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine how much easier it would have been?
Oh my gosh. It would have been a completely different experience.
Yeah, that's really, I'm so glad that my daughter is the age that she's at and that it was dealt with when she was younger. I couldn't even imagine being an unmedicated child and having to go through that. So I'm really, you should be really proud of yourself because you've come really far,
Thank you.
really come really far. So your book covers romance, heartache, resilience. Did you draw from your first heartbreak to write this book?
I didn't with this one. This one was the relationship was very imaginary.
Okay.
I my debut novel, Just Eloise, my first book. I definitely drew a little bit more of my personal experiences romance wise from that one. I was a total dork in high school. I really didn't date until college.
I feel that.
So
I feel that. Definitely there.
I didn't have much personal experience as far as that goes. I actually had one of the ways I started writing this book was I had some scenes that I had cut out of Just Eloise. They just didn't fit in
Yeah.
that story, but I really loved the dialogue that I had written.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to work around this. And
Yeah.
that's kind of one of the ways that this story came to be.
Cool, that was really smart. I hate wasting stuff too, and that's what that probably would have felt like.
It was so
Like,
good. It just didn't fit for those characters.
no, that's brilliant. That's a smart way to roll. So Rose has to battle to get a curfew change from her parents. Did you ever have a curfew growing up, and did you ever sneak out past it?
No, actually, I had the opposite. My parents, we had like no rules.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty like in hindsight, like it was pretty wild, very like radical parenting. But that being said, I'm one of 5 kids, and none of us ever really did anything bad. I mean,
No?
that's the thing is like we were all like really like we were very like straight edge kids. We never like experimented with like drugs and alcohol. I mean, I guess I can only be positive about myself, but as far as I know, none of my siblings either really did that. We never, shoplifted or drink and drive or anything. We were very like straight laced. So I think that made it easy for my parents to be very lax on
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah. That's incredible. My mom was also like, she trusted us until we broke the trust. So to
Exactly.
keep the trust, we behaved ourselves. My brother not so much because I think he was just riding that train. How far can I push mom before she really puts her foot down? And that was her baby, so she never really did. But yeah, like I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, yeah, I guess mom would say like, if you're not going to be home by 2 a.m., call somebody. I don't think I was ever.
Yeah, that was our exact rule. If you're not going to be home, I think it was I don't remember if it was 1 or 2, but if you're not
Yeah.
going to be home by this time, just call us and let us know.
Yeah, so that my mom would make sure that they could lock the bottom lock, and she always made it seem like it was about their own safety. Right, thanks, mom. So, suspenders. You mentioned them in here. Is there a story here, or am I just a complete pervert?
Neither. There's no specific story, but you're not a pervert. I absolutely love suspenders on guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just think there's something so sexy about it.
really sexy. Well, you think about it, when I was a kid, suspenders were, like, for older people, but the older I get, the more I can see, "Oh, I can see this. This
Yeah,
is
there's just not it's, like, classy.
classy." Yeah, exactly, classy. And I'm like, "This is, like, teenagers," and I'm
I know. Gotta be careful.
"Ooh." Sorry, I'm a complete nosebag here. So Rose is Jewish. What made you decide to take this route for your young adult novel?
So, I'm Jewish too, I grew up Jewish, and it actually started because I really wanted to write an own voices novel, meaning, like, basically you pull from your own experiences. So
Right.
that's why she's got ADHD. That's why she's Jewish. And it's interesting because it started out, I didn't really know where this what the story was going other than the romance aspect of it.
Right.
And I was just thinking like what is the worst thing that could happen? I guess it wouldn't be necessarily the worst thing. What's a really bad thing that could happen in high school that would like just suppose her falling in love. They were, I had them performing the Diaries of Anne Frank originally just because that's one of the shows that my high school put on, and I was
Cool.
thinking, okay, I'm gonna roll with this theme,
Yeah.
and I really wanted to lean on the. I guess I don't want to say like the politics of it, but the atmosphere maybe is a better word for or the
Right.
culture that is in American high schools right now. And I think there's a lot of
Yes.
fear. I think that I have kids, they're young, but I think all the time, like, I'm like scared for them to go to high school. And I think like if I were in high school now, how would I feel and how would my
Right.
parents handle it?
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a different world. And I wanted to, I guess, address some of that.
Yeah. Well, you did. You handled it really, really well. I
Thank you.
find that some books, they take a very heavy-handed approach. I don't feel like you did that. I think that you handled the topic really well. I think Rose handled the topic really well, and I think that the groups rallying around her because they all have their own problems within the school was really smart. And it's funny because you highlight some really intense bullying. Like some of these things that are happening, this is not small. Look at her and her ugly skirt. This is serious, serious
Hmm.
bullying. And it doesn't just happen to her, it happens to multiple different kids for multiple different reasons. Now, do you have firsthand experience of being bullied?
I'm not in the same way. I definitely, when I was in middle school, I definitely experienced bullying
Yeah.
in more of a traditional sense.
Right.
And in high school, I mean, there were times where I'd see like there were like swastikas that would be like graffitied on the wall somewhere, just like little like I shouldn't say little things, but like I guess more isolated incidents.
Right.
And at the time, I was just like, whatever. I remember when I in high school once, found a swastika somewhere and I drew a peace sign like right over it, and that was
Nice.
kind of like my thank you. That was my response to it. I don't know if I would react the same way now. Again, it's a completely different world than it was when I was in high
Right.
school, but I think here's my ADHD. What was the original question?
Oh, just, firsthand experience of being
Yeah,
bullied.
luckily was never specifically targeted for being Jewish.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a real concern. So if you hadn't been bullied yourself for these kinds of things, what kind of research did you do to realize
Uh,
what kind of things happen?
it was mostly like statistic research, like how often it happened. I did have to research like what different events had occurred so that I could
Right.
use those because at first I wasn't sure. I was like, other than like I think maybe the first idea I came up with was just drawing the swastika on the poster.
Yeah.
And other than that, I was like, man, I really have to like I was really pulling for other events that could happen, other incidents that could happen. So I did a lot of research on like, what has happened in other schools,
Right.
around the country.
Yeah. That is a lot. That also that because that's something that you haven't dealt with, but that is a real concern. That must have really made your heart ache to know these
It-
things really happen in
yeah,
schools.
it was not a happy-go-lucky research project for
No.
sure. No, it was very heavy.
Yeah, I can believe it. Like we don't Jewish kids don't really it's not much we don't really have a great amount of them here. It's
Mhm.
trans is the big thing here right now. There's a lot of
Mhm.
hatred for that. So I was like, as I was reading it, I'm like, you can literally fit any mindset in here of a group that's being bullied and it hurts just as bad, you know?
Mhm.
And I really, I vaguely remember being bullied as a child, but it's not one of those big memories, and it really impacted me. And I'm like, wow, I couldn't imagine being a child dealing with this. So I think you did a really good job of portraying that and making me as a grown up feel just how sad that is. I thought it was
Thank you.
great, really well done. Now,
Thank
how
you.
easy was it to get into the mindset of a teenager?
Embarrassingly easy. I don't know, I've always kind of when it comes to writing anyway, actually, I shouldn't even say just writing. I still feel like I'm 17, and then I
Yeah,
have to remind myself, like, "No, you're married with 3 children and a mortgage, like, you're
yeah,
not a child." But, when I'm, like, out and I'm just, like, driving by myself and I'm, like, blasting Taylor Swift and
yeah.
it's, the Fearless album, like, I could absolutely just be 17 again. It's funny when I, wrote my debut novel, again, Just Eloise, I listened to Fearless
Yeah.
on repeat for months and just got
Really?
me into that mindset of like how I
Nice,
felt when I was in high school. So I did that a little bit too for this one, just kind of listening to the music that I listened to back then.
nice.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like in some ways, I feel like I never kind of like, I have like almost like an arrested development and I think part of it is because I didn't date in high school and I kind of like, I never had like that particular traditional high school experience. So
Right.
the part of me is like, well, okay, well, I'm gonna write about it as though I did, and
It was smart. I actually really I would never have known that. Just so you know from the way you wrote it, I would never have known that at
thank you,
all. So you did a great job. You fooled me. I wondered that. I'm like, 'cause you got it really felt authentic. Like my daughter is 20, but I can just imagine her a few years earlier. And I'm like, this would be exactly how I would imagine it. So I was like, wow, it was really impressive.
thank you.
I wasn't even sure like how old you were going to be. I was like, maybe I would be talking to somebody. I'm looking at you.
I'm
Clearly, you're not quite a
34.
teenager anymore. Yeah, you don't look that even, so you got that
Thank you.
going for you too. So what was the initial spark of inspiration for this book? What made you wanna write this book?
So it was a kind of a mix of things. It was that piece of dialogue that I had that I just wanted to work out from, and then it was my desire to write an own voices novel. I wanted a character with ADHD, and I thought that that was something that was important as far as, like, representation goes.
Right.
I think in my entire adult life, I've read maybe and I read a lot, I'm a very avid reader.
Yeah.
I think I've read maybe, like, 2 books where the
Wow.
character has ADHD. One of them was young adult, one of them was adult, and it's very prevalent, so,
Yeah.
you'd think there'd be more.
You know what?
And
Now you've just said that, I'm like, I don't remember the last time I think this might be one of the only ones.
yeah, it's
That's
it's
really
not it's not, like, out there, which is, again, strange because it is so prevalent, and I wanted to write that, and I wanted to write a female character with ADHD since obviously it presents very differently,
yes.
than than in boys,
Yes.
and, yeah, those were kind of, like, the 2 so I kind of, like, took those 2 desires and, like, put them together to use that dialogue and then use this, a character with ADHD, and I meshed them together, and this is what came of it. I'm not I don't know if you're on, like, Book Talk, like, a lot, but there's this in the writing community, there's plotters and pantsers,
Oh,
they
yeah.
call them. Yeah, so I'm not a plotter at all. I
No?
completely pants my way through.
Yeah.
I don't write in order, like, I don't write from beginning to end, I'll just write like, random scenes like, do what I need to do to fit them together. I went in, I had other than, like, those 2 things of, like, ADHD and these 2 lines of dialogue, I was like, let's just see where this goes."
I love that. You know what? That would probably be my writing style too. It's funny because another author actually mentioned what you just said about, yeah. And I'm like, I've never heard of that. And now you've just said it too. And I'm like, this is a thing. This is a real thing.
Yeah, it's absolutely a thing. It's like plotter or pantser, and I'm
Yeah.
100% a pantser. I tried to be a plotter before, and it doesn't work for
Yeah.
me.
You know what? I truly believe that you should write your authentic way. Otherwise, you're not telling your story authentic to you. So I think you're doing
Absolutely.
it the right way. I wished I had the chops to try and write, but I write book reviews and I even struggle to do that sometimes. So I couldn't imagine doing what you guys do. So kudos, like total kudos, because sometimes my reviews, I'm like, oh, that wasn't very good. I'm like, I got nothing else to say. That's it. And you write a whole book.
What's funny is I write the whole book, but then I have to write the blurb, and I find that way harder.
Yeah. You know, I believe it because you have to basically shorten it down enough for someone to wanna read your book, and that's really important.
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy.
No, I believe that. I completely believe that. So what do you hope readers will take away from your story?
I hope that they take away, like I should have been prepared for this question. I knew it was coming.
That's okay.
I think that for one thing, having like the main character with ADHD and she sorry, hold on. This is my ADHD. I'm
Oh,
having
no,
a
you
thousand
take your
thoughts at
time.
once.
Take your time. I'm
Feel
okay
free to
with
cut
that.
this part short.
No, that's alright. I can do that too.
I think that with Rose having ADHD, as far as what I want readers to take away from that is that if you are scatterbrained, if you are different in some way, that doesn't mean that you're not valuable. I think as far as for that aspect, that's the most important thing I think that can be taken away from that.
That's beautiful.
As far as the social justice aspect of it, I think just knowing that for one, you're never too young to speak up and to do what you know is right. Civil disobedience is a great thing,
Oh, yes.
especially right now in the United States. So I think just knowing that there are things you can do to fight back um against hate, against oppression.
Yeah.
And
I
it's not
love that.
always an obvious way.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. That's a really good message, and that's pretty much what I got from your book. I just
Oh,
wanted to
good.
see if it was aligned, that I got exactly what it is that you were hoping that I would get from this book, and, yeah, well, apparently I nailed it.
Excellent. A plus. A plus.
So, can you share something readers might not have known about your book? Like, is there an Easter egg in there?
So, I don't know if I'd call it an Easter egg specifically, but I do this with I say all my books, all my two books. I will use names from people I went to high school with, like full names, first and last. The I don't do it for my main characters, but for like almost all my side characters, are people I went to high school with.
Nice! Has anyone ever come to you and said,
One, I have one friend who, her name is Melanie. She's wonderful. I love her. I've been friends with her since high school. We did theater together.
yeah,
And she was reading my debut novel, Just Eloise, and I have a character, Melanie, in it. And she reached out to me and she was like, "It's me." I was like, "Yeah, it is."
you know what? One day I hope one of my friends from school writes a book and my name's in there and they're nice. 'Cause
Yeah.
that would be horrible if they say something and I'm like, "Oh my god, did I really do that?"
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done it for like a bad character, like a mean character.
Okay, good. I'd be like, "Uh-oh, do I wanna read this now?"
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, wait, you know what? I think I can't remember if it was this book or just Eloise, but I think once I did name a character, Allie, after a girl in high school who I'm no longer friends with, we'll say.
Okay.
But yeah, which is funny because 'cause I'm friends with another Allie now, who I'm like really good. She's like one of my best friends.
Oh,
But
nice. As long as you
so
didn't name
Allie,
one.
if you're Allie, my friends now, if you're listening, the bad Allie is not you.
Good. I would have needed to know that. That's a big wow. That's very cool though. I like that. I like that a lot. So what was the most surprising thing you learned while you were creating this book?
That I can write another book. I was surprised when I did it the first time, and I was surprised I did it the second time.
It's really cool. Did you always want to be an author? Like, is this
Yeah.
something you always wanted to be?
Ever since I was really little. In fact, I mean, I used to, like, make little books, like, with construction paper all the time, when I was, in elementary school, and my parents recently moved out of, like, my childhood home, and we were looking through, they kept everything, so we had boxes and boxes of, like, our old schoolwork, and I found this it was, like, an autobiography that I wrote, I think it was in 4th grade, and it was for school, so it was, like, very, like, put together,
Yeah.
but there was, like, an about the author at the end, and in it says, like, that I wanted to be a writer when I grew up, which I thought was
Oh, I
pretty
love
cool.
yeah, that's amazing. I wanted to be a pilot, but I wanted to be a pilot in the RAF, but I was too short and too light. So I'm like, God. They were like, you can come in and be an officer. I'm like, I want to fly planes. I ended up going to university in the end and doing computer science. But yeah, I wanted to be a pilot. I applied and everything, and they're like, oh, you're too short.
Oh,
I'm like,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I'm 5'3". To be a pilot in the jets that they use for the Royal Air Force, you have to be a minimum of 5'5" for the parachutes. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, they're all to do with how the cockpit's laid out and
So interesting. Things you
why
never think about.
not? No, but I was an air cadet, and that's why I was an air cadet, because I wanted to join the Royal Air Force, but no one told me the whole time I was there that that wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, my gosh, they should have warned you.
I was really bummed. That's so cool, though. I love that. I hated English in school. It's really funny because I really was not a massive fan of writing in school, and I love reading, but not so much anything else. But now I'm
Mhm.
like, I wished if I knew now what I knew then, like, I would go back and maybe even take a career in writing because
It's
I
never too
really
late.
yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think I've got the tolerance to sit there and write out because I would forget birthdays. Like, I'm terrible. I don't even have ADHD, and my mind is shot to pieces. I don't think I could even do that, but I really enjoyed the reading, reviewing, and the podcasting. So that
Well, good.
I
So
think I'm
you found what
good.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good. But yeah, that's so cool. You're basically living your childhood dream. I love that. So, who is your favorite author, and do you still admire their work?
My all-time favorite author is Judy Blume, and I absolutely admire everything she does. She hasn't written anything recently. I think her most recent book was In the Unlikely Event, and if I remember correctly, I think she, like, came out and said that was gonna be her last one, which, good for her.
Yeah.
But I have been a Judy Blume fan since I could read. It started with Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, and I think I've read every single book she's ever written.
Wow.
And now my oldest daughter is 6, and so she's starting to read by herself now. So she just read
Oh,
Freckle Juice, and now she and I are reading Tales of Fourth Grade Nothing together, which I love. And yeah, I really admire her. I think that she writes with such, like, raw honesty,
yeah.
the experience of being young, and I draw a lot of inspiration from her, and wanting to, I guess, do the same thing.
Yeah, so did she influence your style of writing?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and, my first book actually was very heavily influenced by Forever, which is one of her young adult novels.
Yeah.
I wanted my daughters to have, I guess, like, a similar themed book, but more modern, and that was kind of, like, what I kind of went in with.
I love that. I love that. And the fact that you get to share this with your kids now is really, really sweet. I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty special. It's cool. I'm glad my all 3 of my girls. I have 3 girls. They're 6, 4, and 2,
Oh, wow.
and they all love books. My 6-year-old's the only one that can read right now, but they all love books, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy with that.
Oh, I love that. All my kids are readers too. I have 6 kids.
Wow, good
Oh,
for
yeah, I've
you.
got 2 adult kids, and then I have 4 kids under 10. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness,
Oh, yeah.
good for you.
I'm very busy.
I'd have more if my husband would let me, but he's done.
Really? You know what? Because it's funny, I have 4 girls and 2 boys, and my boys are at the bookend, so my eldest and my youngest. So I had 4 in the middle, all
Oh,
girls.
wow. It's
Yeah,
fun. It's fun.
it is. I love being a girl mom, but they all again, because you probably read a lot at home, they're copying you. So they're copying what you do because they wanna be you, and I really love that. So when my daughter's sitting there with her headphones on and she's on her tablet because she's listening to a book on YouTube, and she was
Mhm.
doing Charlotte's Web, and I'm like, "What do you listen to?" She was like, "Charlotte's Web." She was like, "Shh, it's a good part." I love it. I love that. So, do you ever get inspiration from your dreams for your writing?
I don't know if I remember my dreams well enough to pull from that, but I do sometimes, like, I'll be trying to fall asleep and I'll have, like, just these random spurts of, like, oh, this needs to, and I'll have to, like, write a note on my phone of, like, dialogue or just, like, an idea that I had for a book. So
Oh,
I do get a lot of my ideas, like, late at night while I'm trying to fall asleep.
nice.
Yeah, it's it's
At
a
least you've got a
pain.
use for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, yeah. It definitely keeps me up longer than than I
Yeah.
should be, but
Especially when you get your phone glowing in your face, now you're
yeah,
writing
exactly. I
stories
have to, like, start all
down,
over again, start going to sleep all over again
and you're going
after.
and checking TikTok real quick just in case.
Because
Yeah, I've been
I'm
there.
already on the phone.
Exactly. No, you're not doing anything bad here, just having a quick look. Yeah, I do that sometimes too, like, I'll have a podcast episode pop into my head, and my husband's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Shh, it's okay."
Yeah, it's got nothing to
Yeah.
do with you, honey.
Yeah, just you're okay, be cute over there. So what makes a story exciting for you?
So right now, because I have 3 little kids, I do not have the capacity for, like, anything that's, like, too adventurous. So, like,
Right.
I would love to get into fantasy, and I just like, the world building is, like, too much for me right now.
Oh,
So I read a lot of romance right now. I
nice.
like knowing that it's gonna be a happily ever after.
Yeah.
And I think, as far as, like, excitement, what makes those stories exciting are I love the banter, good banter.
Yes.
It will
That's a must.
always yeah, that will always make me happy. And just kind of like original stories. It's very easy, I think, especially in the romance genre, to become very formulaic.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh,
so
yes.
anytime I find an author that doesn't necessarily follow that formula,
Yeah.
or the characters themselves are not too formulaic,
Yeah.
then that for me is like a win.
Yeah.
So I read a lot of like Abby Jimenez. I read all of Abby Jimenez's books. Love her. I really like Emily Henry, Rainbow Rowell. Oh my gosh,
Oh, yeah.
I love Rainbow Rowell, or Rowell maybe is how you pronounce it. I'm not
I've
sure.
actually never read their books.
Oh
Never.
my gosh,
And I love romance. I've never.
she's okay. She is my favorite book right now is Slow Dance by
Okay.
Rainbow Rowell, and I'm not a big like rereader. Once I read a book, that's usually it. I read Slow Dance twice in the span of like 6 months. I
Wow.
loved it.
Wow. Okay, I'm
Um,
gonna have to add that to the list now.
yeah, you should. It's so
That's a
good.
must. Like, I love Christina Lauren.
Yeah,
I'm a big romance person. I also really like horror, so I'm really strange with like, I'll flip-flop between them, but I've
that's so
never heard
funny.
of her.
Yeah,
I've never heard
yeah.
of her.
Horror. I can't read horror. I'm scared too easily.
That's
I
how
want to get into mystery though.
oh, I love mystery books, but I started my reading journey with Stephen King
Oh,
and Anne
okay.
Rice, so that's how I ended up becoming a reader. Now, Stephen King is a little wordy, but I kind of and then I was reading books and I'm like, "Oh, this just seems like there's not enough words here." It took me ages to get out of that mindset that Stephen King did not need to use all of those words. It was too much, too much. But yeah, I love all kinds of genres, but I'm in my romance era right now, like hardcore in my romance reader, so I'm going to check her out. Now
Yeah, I definitely should.
you said you're an avid reader, right? But do
Yes.
you dog ear your pages or do you use bookmarks like a lady?
I use paper clips like a lady. They're plastics, they're not metal, so they won't
Nice.
like indent the pages. And the reason I like to use them is twofold. One, because they're harder for my kids to shake out. And two, because if I have to stop reading, mostly because of my kids, in the middle of like a paragraph or the middle of a chapter, I can mark exactly where I stop.
Oh, that's really smart. See, my kids like to pull my bookmarks out, so I actually have a book merch store. I started making magnetic ones so they couldn't whip them out so quick. But that's really smart. That's really
Lots of
smart.
trial and error.
Yeah, I bet. That's really clever because I love hook bookmarks. It's one of the things I love the most, but my kids are like, "Ooh, beads, mama," and I can't find my page again. I've
Yeah,
started
it's so
hiding my
hard.
books. I had to start hiding what I was reading. I
Hmm.
actually ended up moving to Kindle for the most part so that I could, like, tuck it away. I have a little,
Right.
like, fanny pack thing I put on my back when I'm doing my so they can't touch my stuff. Oh my god,
I was
kids.
once I was listening to an audiobook, and I guess I just like didn't realize I left my phone out, and I was listening, and suddenly like it just didn't make sense, and I went over, and my daughter had like rewinded like
Yeah.
chapters, and I was like, what? I'm like, how am I supposed to find where I was?
It's being a parent is like having 20 Tasmanian devils just whipping around the house, and you
Hmm.
don't know which pile to start with.
Right. Yeah,
That's
that's a
great
great
fun.
yes.
Yeah,
That's exactly it.
it's great fun, and our kids are off right now because the teachers are on strike, so all 4 of my kids are home, and they're very unhappy because they're
Oh
supposed to be doing
my gosh.
schoolwork, and can you imagine doing 4 different grades supposed to schoolwork? They're throwing stuff at each other. Yeah, we gave up.
Yeah, I
Thankfully, they'll be
would
back to
have
school
too.
next week. Yeah. We're hoping they're back next week. It's not like the young grades really then no one's gonna worry that they're not quite caught up because I'm sure the
They'll catch
teachers
up,
are
yeah.
here. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm not even going to bother. The hot
A
dogs
break
flying
never
across
hurt
the room.
anybody.
So I thought, now that I've gotten to know you in the book, that we do a little this or that literary edition.
Okay.
Just you can say both, but try and pick one.
Okay.
So do you prefer hard copy books or e-reader?
I do prefer hard copy books.
Yeah, I do too, except when you're a mom and you're on the
Right.
go.
I do bring my Kindle with me, like, wherever I go just because it's easier to, like, pack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do prefer the physical books.
Nice. Now, do you prefer to write with a pen and paper or on your laptop?
On my laptop, I have tried writing with pen and paper, and I go too out of order
Yeah.
for it to work.
My daughter says that her biggest problem is on a computer, she can write notes and date and stamp. They're date stamped. And this way she knows by time. Because she's like, piece of paper, you don't know when you wrote that.
That's true. That's accurate.
Yeah. I'm like, that actually makes sense. Are you more of a morning writer or a night owl?
Definitely evenings after my kids have gone to sleep.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Need quiet. I need quiet. My biggest problem is I don't like mornings. So everything has to be done after 10 a.m.
I appreciate that lifestyle.
Yeah, gotta be done. Now, are you more of a research or inspiration writer?
Probably inspiration.
Yeah, you come across that way to me, just saying
Yeah.
though. Yeah. It's funny because you kinda get to know people as you're talking to them, and you're like, "I probably don't need to ask these now." Are you more beaches or mountains?
I would say, oof, that's a really good one. I don't know. I'm such a homebody that it's
If you had to
I
go
just
away for a week, would you like to go somewhere where you can ski or sit on a beach?
okay, if I was gonna go away for a week, I'd probably want to go to the mountains, but I wouldn't ski. I would stay, like, in the cabin by the fireplace and
Hot
read.
chocolate, read,
Yeah.
yeah. I live in the mountains, and I always thought that was really romantic. It's not. 8
The
months of
beach, then I
snow is
choose the
not
beach.
romantic. It's not romantic. My hometown in England was on the sea, so I could see the sea out my bedroom window, and I
Oh,
always
wow.
hated that because it smelled like fish. 'Cause it was a harbour town, and I'm like, "Oh, moving to Calgary, moving to the mountains is gonna be so dreamy." No. No, I will take the fish any day of the week. I will have that fish smell back. Mountains?
No.
Not fun. No. Are you more of a coffee or tea drinker?
Probably tea. I mean, I drink iced tea like it's water. I drink it all day long.
Yeah?
I'm in Arizona, so it's hot 90% of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely
Yeah, that
tea.
makes sense. That makes sense. I think I would probably do the same if that was me. So, if you were in Arizona, do you prefer summer or winter?
Arizona specifically, I prefer probably winter
Yeah, I bet.
because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I went to school in upstate New York, and I would say the winters there were miserable.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so there I might choose summer.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's
definitely prefer,
cool.
like, the warmth.
Well, with New York fall, that's supposedly the magic period
Yeah,
there.
that wasn't an option though, so I couldn't choose it.
No, no, I'm a real rascal like that. I like to make it hard. Do you prefer a quiet study or a busy cafe?
I like to go to, like, a cafe. There's a coffee shop that's right down the street from my house that I do a lot of my
Nice.
writing at. Um,
Nice.
like I said before, I'm one of 5 kids, so I grew up in a very, like, busy, buzzing household,
Yeah,
and sometimes the quiet, like, could get too much in my head,
yeah.
so I can do it both ways, but I think I prefer in a coffee shop.
Oh, I love that. Most people so far have said quiet, and I kind of
Really?
thought that was weird. Yeah, because I was like, I'd wanna be in the thick of it, people watching. Like, where's my next
Yeah.
inspiration coming from?
Yeah, for sure.
I was really, like, surprised by most, other authors, but, no, that's exactly yeah, yeah. So, you said you're a homebody, but do you prefer travel or staying at home?
I do like to travel. I love to go on road trips.
Nice.
So but I also like to sleep in my own bed.
Feel that one.
Yeah, I think before kids, I would have said travel. Now that I have kids, I would say homebody.
Nice. You know, that makes sense. That makes sense. Are you more of a cat person or a dog person?
I don't even need to think about that one. I married into some cats. We are cordial to each other, but I definitely prefer dogs.
That same here. We have four
Oh,
dogs, four
wow.
rescues. Yeah, I'm a nightmare. We used to foster. My husband's like, "This is the last foster dog." I'm like, "Why?" He was like, "Because you don't let them leave." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I'm on a ban now. Do you prefer character driven or plot driven stories?
Character driven.
Yeah, yeah. Your
Yeah.
characters were really well done. Really
Thank
well
you. I
done.
appreciate that. Yeah, I think that characters and relationships are what for one thing, I think that they're what we really as readers connect to the most. And I also think that, you could take as long as you have like a great character, you could put them in any plot
Yes.
in theory
Yeah.
and like see how
That's
they would react in that environment.
yeah, I love that. That's a brilliant answer.
Thank you.
Love love it. I'm learning so much because you don't say the same thing everyone else does. This is awesome. Loving it. So, are you more happy endings or bittersweet conclusions?
That's a great question. I think I prefer like I don't like endings to be wrapped up in a bow. So not necessarily bittersweet, but not happily ever after.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle. It can end happily. I just don't like the tied in a bow.
Yeah.
Both of my novels end kind of that way where it's not a sad ending by any means. I mean, it's
No,
a
no, no.
romance. They're happily ever after, but it definitely there's, you read. I don't want to like give anything away,
Yeah.
but I just think it's, real. I liked it to be like a little realistic.
Yeah.
Um,
No, your book definitely ended in a she definitely is not unhappy, but yeah, I wouldn't say it was
right.
ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually quite enjoyed that. I guess I never really thought about it like that. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. So do you prefer genre fiction or literary fiction?
I am a bad reader because I don't know what the difference is.
So genre meaning it needs to have like romance or fantasy, whereas
Oh, okay.
literary, it can literally have no it literally is just lots of flowery writing and it doesn't really have to have a point.
Okay, no, then definitely genre.
Yeah. Like somebody turned around and went, "Well, technically literary fiction's still a genre." And I'm like, "Well, yes, but you don't really have to it doesn't have to go anywhere. You could have 300 pages and not really much happens except the writing's really, really pretty."
Yeah, no, definitely genre.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Now, what's worse, writer's block or reader's block?
Think right now reader's block is worse for me because I'm an indie author. I am not on a schedule.
Yeah.
I'm not on a deadline. If I need to take a month off to clear my brain, I do it.
Yeah.
So, it can definitely be frustrating, but I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah.
Whereas reader's block, it's like that's my downtime. It's like that's what I want. And I also feel like I have like this huge, TBR list that I want to get through. Oh, yeah, reader's block I think is is worse.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I used to think that until sometimes I get so behind on my reviews and I'm like, and I don't know what to say. And that feels just as bad as having reader's block. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to put here. And I'll write something generic and then I'll feel really bad. And then I'll update it later when it finally comes to me. But
Yeah.
it's not like I can wait. Like someone's waiting on this review.
Yeah,
I feel horrible.
that makes it tough.
Yeah, it does. So I think they're equally just as crappy. And the last one, originality or reader expectations.
Originality.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
don't
like
think I
to
found anyone to say reader yet.
yeah, I don't I I had an ARC reader, advanced
Yeah,
reader, for this book actually, for Love and Other Tragedies, who um I don't know what prompted her to like sign up to be an ARC reader for this book because she didn't finish it. She like sent me an email and she said, I didn't finish it. These are the reasons why, which is fine. That happens. No big deal. I asked them to tell me if that's the case. I literally like the first thing she said was like, your book has, racism, homophobia, anti-Semitism. I don't know why you would put that in a book you're trying to sell. And it was like, what?
are you new to reading?
Yeah, I know. She also this one, oh my gosh, it was very unhinged, the email I got. There were a lot of layers to it.
Oh,
Another thing she said was like, I'm a 49-year-old woman. What do I care about some high school girl drama? This is better fit for young adults. I'm like, yeah, that's why it's a young adult book. Why did you choose it if you're not interested in YA?
dear.
Yeah, it was like I said,
Dear.
it was a little unhinged.
Oh, dear. Maybe she made a mistake. Like, it happens, right? You
I
sign up for
guess,
something and
but I don't know. It was a long email.
yeah, I bet. Yeah. Did you answer her?
I did. At first, I just emailed her back and I said, "Thank you for letting me know. For what it's worth, it is a YA novel." And then
Yeah.
she emailed me back and she says, "What's YA?" And I said, "It means young adult." And then
Yeah.
that's when I was like, okay, she had no idea what she was.
She didn't know what she's signing up for,
Yeah, no.
clearly. So there's a lot of brand new ARC readers out there, and they don't know what they're doing either. Like one of them, another author, she said that they signed up for her book and then they rated it 2 stars and posted it before release. And she was like, and I asked them specifically not to do that if it was gonna be less than 3 stars until
Mhm.
after. And she turned around and said, "Well, why would I wait? I didn't like it." She's like, "That's what you signed up with, it's what you agreed to." Like, I
Yeah.
don't it's
I
really scary.
it blows my mind that there are so many people who don't read, like, the description of the book or the
Yeah.
trigger warnings or,
Mhm.
whatever, and it's just, I mean, and then, of course, there are, like, a ton of wonderful ARC readers out there too. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, I don't wanna, like, can I curse? I don't wanna shit
Yeah, go
on
for
ARC
it. I
readers,
do all
okay?
the time.
I don't wanna, like, shit on ARC readers because there are some really wonderful ones out there. I mean, overall, I've had, like, an overwhelmingly good experience.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this woman just, I mean, she definitely didn't know what she was getting into.
Yeah.
She also she started she had, like, her list of reasons for not finishing it,
Mm.
and one of them started by saying, "I'm not homophobic, but," and then I was like, "Oh, that
As
says
soon as
everything
that
I need
"but"
to know."
comes in
Yeah.
there, yeah, that "but" means I'm gonna say something homophobic now.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just one of those situations where I was like, it wasn't I could have easily, like, addressed, like, each reason she didn't, but, like, why?
Why
So
you
it's
would
not the book
like
wasn't written for her, so who cares?
yeah, and that's fine, not all books are written for people. Now, did she post a review?
No, she didn't,
Okay. So you dodged
and
a bullet there.
yeah, exactly, exactly, and she even said, she's like, "I can post this," she was, "I don't wanna write a review, but I can put it on my Pinterest page if you want," and I said, "Please don't." I said, "I
No.
appreciate that, but please do not put it anywhere near anything of yours. I don't
No,
want to be
thank
associated."
no, 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 no.
No.
We're good. We're good.
No,
We're
thank
good.
you.
I did a lot of since 2007. I probably made a ton of mistakes in the beginning, but no one was
Sure.
noticing. No one said nothing to me. But I learned a lot going over the years. And now I also know that if I don't like a book and it's not 3.5 stars, I just post a feature. I don't put a star rating because just because I don't like it doesn't mean that someone reading my blast won't love it. And I would hate
Exactly.
this is my biggest thing. And I'm like, what if I write, well, I didn't like this book and someone goes, oh, well, I won't read it then. And they would have loved it. And
Right.
that's not up to me to decide that for somebody else. That's how I feel about
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
No,
Books are not written for everyone. They're written
exactly.
for their readers. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And somebody will get something different out of your book than I did. And that
Mhm.
doesn't mean that their journey is wrong. It just means their journey was different.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome. I've really enjoyed talking to you. So
Yeah,
do
I
you
really enjoyed talking to you too.
have you got a current work in progress right now? And when can fans expect to read it?
I do. It is my first adult novel.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's, been a little bit of a jump, and as far as when they can, I don't know. It's a little bit of a, mess right now, as they often are at the beginning stages.
yes.
So I would say fingers crossed next year, maybe
Nice.
late next year.
Excellent.
Usually, once I get it going, it's kind of just like a whirlwind
Yeah,
until the end. I just haven't built up that momentum yet for this one.
that's all right.
So,
Plenty of time.
yeah, I'm not on the deadline, exactly, but it is in progress. It is my first adult novel, and I am really excited for it.
Now, I'm gonna say one thing about your book cover. It was absolutely beautiful. Who
Thank
designed it?
you. I'm so glad that you asked that because I work with an incredible designer. Her name is Jen Davidson. She's on social media at Jinbins, Jinbins art. So
Nice,
Jinbins art.
nice.
And she is just absolutely incredible. I went to her with nothing and I was like, I don't know anything about covers or, what I don't even, she's like, do you have anything like in mind? And I was like, no, please just like have fun with it.
Yeah,
And she brought me that back. I gave her no notes. I was like, this is perfect. I was like, this
it
is
was
exactly what it needs to be.
yeah, no, it was brilliant. I loved it. I'm like, wow. I was like, because I wasn't sure if you had done it.
Oh
I
no.
was I was like, "Ooh, you're artsy too. I love it." But I was like, "Wow, this is beautiful." It was beautiful, and it really set the tone for the book. So,
Mhm. She
yeah,
did
I
such an incredible job. And she designed the cover for Just Eloise as well.
oh, nice.
She's the absolute best.
That's amazing. It's nice when you find really good people to work with, hey?
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. So where can readers find your current book to buy, and where can they find you online on your socials?
So my socials for TikTok are at Sophie B Writes, SOPHIEB, and then Writes. Instagram, which I'm slightly less active on, is at Sophie B dot Writes. And then my website is sophiebwrites.com, which all my socials are listed on,
Nice.
as well as purchase links. If you want a signed copy, you can purchase directly through me. It's also
Nice.
cheaper if you get it directly through me. Other than that, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books and Books, wherever books are sold online. For some reason, the Kindle version of Love and Other Tragedies is not showing up on Amazon. I'm working on figuring that out, but it is showing up on Barnes& and Noble. I know that for sure, if you want the
Oh, that's
Kindle
good.
version.
Good. That's really good. I really hope that my listeners will go out and find your book because I gave it 4.25 stars. I thought it was really, really good. The only thing I had against it was I would have liked a longer book. That was it.
Okay,
That was
that's
all I
fair.
could
That's
come up
fair,
with.
though.
I kind of, as I was reading it, I was like, I'm really sad this is ending so soon. And that was my only beef with it was
And you know what? I like to leave them wanting more,
yeah,
so
well, you did. You really did. I'm like, I could have seen them, like, seeing how they went to college, like, even an epilogue or something, just, like, what
mhm.
happened afterwards. But that was pretty much that was the only con I could find, and I tried really hard to say something, like, not critical, but, a little bit of, constructive
Critiquey.
feedback, and I got nothing. But I like longer books. Like, I'm probably a 300, 400-page kind of
Well, check
person.
out Just Eloise. It's about twice the size of
Nice.
this one. Yeah, Just Eloise she's a thick girl.
Oh, good. That's the way I like my books. I like to settle in for the long haul.
Mhm. For
And I
sure.
finished your book really quick 'cause I read it all in one sitting, and I'm like,
Oh, wow, thank you.
"Yeah," once I started, that was kind of it. Like, I made a cup of tea, and that was kind of it. And I didn't even finish drinking my tea, it got cold. I'm like, "Oh,
What a
it's all about
compliment. Oh my
you."
gosh, thank you.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it, so I really hope my listeners find it. And I am almost finished writing your review. Time got away with me yesterday. I was hoping to have it done at the same time, so I will get that posted for you as well. I'm hoping that my listeners will go find your book, they will read my review, and they will buy your book.
I also hope those things.
Yes, I will push it out this week, don't you worry.
I'm very excited.
Excellent. If you have any questions for Sophie, you can find her on her socials, as she has already said. You can also ask her questions on my socials, and I can pass them over. And then maybe we could do a Q&A session based on what viewers wanted to know. Because
I
I'm
would
sure
love
I
that.
must have missed something. I always do. No matter how thorough I am, I always miss something.
Well, yeah, any chance to talk to you would be great. I loved this.
Excellent.
This was such a great time. I
Yeah,
really
I've
appreciate it.
had so much. I don't think I've laughed this hard in ages. This was a good time for me too.
Well, good, I'm glad. Thank you so much.
Excellent. But don't forget, guys, you can find me on TikTok at Litdulterous. You can find my Facebook page at Litdulterous. I'm on Instagram too at Litdulterous Horror. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Litdulterous. And this episode will be available on Spotify probably later today. We hope that you have a really great reading week, guys. And me and Sophie will catch you again another time. Take care. Oh.